know what I'm saying? Then they go in the house and make pie out your brains, pumpkin pie. It will cook your thoughts. You be sitting there, I was just thinking that there are some good memories. This is a delicious peace of mind. We get ungrateful. You know? Be grateful, ladies and gentlemen, you could have been born deodorant. You know? Imagine if that was your function in life. Getting rubbed on somebody's armpits every single day. Sometimes they don't even wash, they just put you on. I'm good. I got you, you know? They ain't lonely because you're deodorant. You live in a cabinet. Who you gonna talk to in the cabinet? The pills, they high. You can't talk to the pill. Pills in there turned up laughing at your life. Yo, his life is the pits over there, yo.
1, 2.
Pass me another me. Pass me another me. That's what pills say to each other. I'm telling you, man, they all got problems. We all got them. Be grateful. I got major problems in my life. You think I let that stop me from doing what I got to do? My daughter, 20 years old, just got her nipples pierced. Yeah, I don't even got to joke about that. I just need to tell somebody, man. I'm going through it right now. I'm like, is she a hoe? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just know what the pierced nipple girl did to me, and I loved it. So I just hope the wholeness ain't come with a piercing. I hope it's sold separately. You know? Wholeness not included. You know what I'm saying? That's
You think you know about relationships, but you're wrong. Listen, there's no magic bullet. I'm teaching life skills.
When you're sick, you need medicine. It don't always taste good, but it'll get you better. You need this medicine. It ain't gonna always taste good, but this is what you need. Men and women, bottom line, we need to have the conversation. Your partner wants to give up control, but only if you know how to drive. This is about being the best you could ever be, whoever you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, LGBTQ, space alien. I'll save anybody. I don't care. I'll teach a hedgehog how to have a threesome.
What do you mean by that?
Look, you don't have to listen to me, but you're wrong.
Listen, I know I'm great. And I know you're thinking, Dante, there's no way I could be like you. But you could be me, you know why?
Because you know who I was? Before I was me, I was you.
Man School 202.
Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.
Yo. What up? GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? The sexual revolution is being podcasted. And I am excited, my peoples. It's good to be there Thursday night, 8 o'clock. We're going to do some calls. We're going to keep it tight. Real quick, anybody that's in the comments, Kenny B, Jabril Africa, Test PM, Let's Go Cards 04. Tell me if y'all hear me good if the sound's good. If the sound's good, give me a thumbs up. Sounds good, give me a thumbs up. I'm gonna put this as soon as I get some thumbs up in the comments, making sure the sound is good. Let me see. Yes, sir. That's what I want. Thank you. Shout out to Xavier. What's going on, kid? What's popping? Rico King in the building. $5. Thank you. Rico sent me with the $5 on the CashApp. My G. Intuitive Minds with the $1,000. Danny Boyle in the building. Let me put the CashApp up. Oh, wow. I forgot to put the CashApp up. That was crazy. What's wrong with me? Motherfuckers know my CashApp. Thanks, Rico. I appreciate you. Xavier in the building. $5 for Xavier. Thank you, my G. Y'all never let me down. Never let me down. That's what's up. Xavier and Rico, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Let me put the banner up. Let me put the number up. Phone lines is open. Let me just make sure, test the lines real quick. fast in a hurry. Just want to make sure the lines is working. Big shout to Lumumba Ang Haru. Thank you, brother. I appreciate $22. You the best. Lumumba in the building on the Cash App. Thank you. You the best that ever did it. Let me call the number. Let me make sure we good with the number. And then let's rock and roll. Let's make it happen. I want to get a lot of calls in. We're gonna make the calls quick and to the point. Hold on. Yes, sir. There we go. Yup. Phone lines is working. I tell y'all, give me a little time. I'll make the calls quick and to the point. I'll get these technical stuff down. Phone line, let me put the phone lines up, 929-269-4922. You know what it is. Phone lines is up, ready to kick it. Let's learn something. Whatever you got a problem with, hit me. I am here to answer any question. Cash App is up. One more time, thanks for Rico, Lumumba, and Xavier for hitting me on the Cash App. I appreciate you. Cash App's up, PayPal's up, the phone lines is up. So let me something that was on my mind a little bit was somebody asked me what my pet peeve to, giving this information out. And I answered to them that I believe like nobody don't listen. And I understand. I used to get angry because people didn't pay attention or people constantly did things that were their, did their version or a freestyle version of what I was telling them to do. Guys would spend money on consultations and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, not hundred thousands, but thousands of dollars on consultations and then not do what I tell them to do. Understand something. There's a reason why I say the things that I say. There's also an order in which things have to happen because there's a reason. It's been proven why I deal with things the way that I deal with them, why the order is, why laying the 5 bricks is so important, why that becomes the prerequisite for everything else, because we need a foundation to work from. And that foundation is everything builds on that foundation. And so if you're not doing the first thing first and you try to skip to the other parts of it, or you call me up after you haven't been laying the 5 bricks and then you got something on the line, yes, absolutely, I can give you some advice. I can navigate you through this, but you got to understand something. You're going to make mistakes. And the reason why you're going to make mistakes is because you don't have the foundation, the basic fundamentals of why things work or don't work. You don't have that down. And so you are what I call not ready for the Super Bowl. And for all intents and purposes, if I had to say as a football fan, I'm a Giants fan. I'm a New York guy, always been a Giants fan. But I don't really follow anything that seriously. But I remember when the Giants won the Super Bowl, and I think it was Tiki caught that pass on his helmet. The reason why you're able to catch a pass on your helmet while you're being tackled is because you've done it so many times in practice. But time and time again, you find yourself in awkward situations, being able to make that catch under pressure. Under pressure, you're still able to come up with the win. And the only way you do that is through practice. And so relationships, women, relationships, dating, all of those things there's a skill set. And as much as there's, people who are giving advice or telling you this or telling you that, I don't find, very rarely, that's not true. I shouldn't say I don't find. Jace, the pickup scientist, one of the, there's a couple of guys out there who are really talking that real shit. Dean, Steve the Dean Williams. He's another guy who's a real good source. But none of these guys are blowing up like your Fresh and Fits, like your Andrew Tates and all these guys, and even Kevin Samuels. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I've said before, Kevin Samuels dealt with the accountability, and there was a lot of things that he said statistically, but never had any real solutions. So when you find somebody who's 20, some girl who's calling up, she's 21 years old, 23 years old, and she's trying to tell you how to date. She's asking, Godfather, what do I do? I want this. Well, what'd your mother tell you? What'd your father? It's almost like you didn't even have, the reason why you're pushing it off on people is because you don't have the answers. And when you don't have the answers, know that you just not going to be able to tell people what they need to hear or what they need to know. So there's a reason why there's a prerequisite. There's a reason why things happen the way they happen. There's a reason why I teach it in the order that I teach it, because those things are very important. You can't run until you crawl first. You can't walk until you crawl. And you have to build up a series of skill sets before you move forward. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a situation where you're going to fall flat on your face. So there's that. Phone line's up, 929-269-4922. And I just want to say, all the regulars that come on, that get online and are in listening and stuff, y'all, man, shoot something at me. If you have something that you don't know, you're questioning, call me. I don't care if y'all are one of the regulars. If anything, y'all support beyond what most people support. Y'all are here every time I go live, and I'm gonna really, really make an effort to be more consistent with going live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursday. Maybe I won't go on as long, but I'm gonna give y'all a taste so that if something's going on during the week and y'all need to talk to me, you can access me. So there's that. But I only ask that you guys like and share and comment. Once the episodes are finished, send it to people. If there's things that y'all want to, things that you think are important, people that because we all got friends that need this help, that need some kind of control and some reference on. That's what I'm talking about. We got a call coming in. Hold on. What's up? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Dante? Xavier from California again.
What's going on, Zave? What's going on? How you?
Pretty good, Dante. How you doing?
I'm good. Good. Anything going on?
I just wanted to again just call in to share some information from my that's been happening for me.
Okay.
At work, right? So with laying the 5 breaks and just practicing everything that you teach. I've gotten really good at my job. I am a social worker.
Wow.
So I do a lot of advocacy for, disfranchised people,
Yeah.
There's a situation right now where one of my clients is at a home and my other coworkers want my client to be kicked out because my client has more issues, but because, again, practice credibility, always tell the truth, and I have a pretty good constitution, and I know what I'm doing is right.
Right. Wait, back up.
Like,
so you have a client, and and the client has more problems. You're dealing with social work. The client has more problems than it's expected, or is it more? What exactly is the thing? Paint the picture for me if you can.
Yeah. So everybody's pretty. The other clients are pretty chill, but my client has some more like issues, like behavioral.
Right.
So this client needs more support,
Okay.
and the other social workers kind of want to kick my client out, but it's crazy because I was like, how dare you, because this is
now they want to kick them. They want to kick the person out because they feel like it's too much work.
It pretty much, and pretty much that's what it is,
Mm.
Even though I'm dealing with it.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this though: if you don't, there's something that I think people don't understand when you go to work, right? People look at their job and they look at the job as I want to get over this. I want to get past this. And what I don't think people understand sometimes is, as long as you're going to have this job, right, there's always going to be work to be done.
Yep.
So if you kick this one to the curb, it's going to be another one after that. And when you finish this one, and then now, is there a time limit or something that you have to kind of, is there a time limit, or can you deal with each client in a way in terms of what their needs are?
You can deal with it based on what their needs are, but you have to do the work.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, if you kick this one to the curb, then don't you just get another client?
Pretty much. But then it's like, no, because then I do a disservice based on why I signed up and why I do this job.
Right. Right. So you have coworkers who just don't want to take the initiative to do the work in a real way because it seems too difficult. So they'd rather deal with a client now let me ask you this, because you have like we always talk about the righteousness of your actions. Don't you feel a much higher level of satisfaction when you help somebody who's been disenfranchised or has more problems? I mean, don't you? Because I know I find that the case when I find somebody and they're calling me and they're doing consultations with me. The more severe the problem is, the more satisfaction I get once I get the person over the hump and they start making progress. In fact, the smaller the progress, just any progress that I get from that is something that excites me, because I know that I'm doing the right thing. And I think that's where, I don't think that people really understand that the confidence comes from what you do, not what you are.
Exactly. And like you were saying, it's when you do the work, when you do the drills, and you do the practice in the off season, when you're playing the game, and like there's people, in like high situations, like you need to do this and or that or this, in your heart of hearts that that's not the right thing to do, and you know what the right thing is. Yeah. So, and I'm experiencing that in my job. It's just like self-assured and I'm really good at what I do because your work helps me, in developing that.
Now, don't you feel better about going to work too? Because of the fact that I think what I don't think that people really understand is that this affects you on so many levels. It affects your self-esteem. It affects, there's also a situation where when it's time to ask for a raise, right? When you know that you are the person who is more, when you work, you have other coworkers and you're the guy who gets it done. And trust me, your bosses know, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say that there's not situations where you can have a boss that has emotional issues themselves and they are intimidated by you or give you a hard time because of some, I remember years ago there was a comedy club who just wouldn't work me, and no matter how funny I got, this woman couldn't work. And then I found out later that I looked exactly like her ex. But
I remember that.
Yeah,
we talked about that. Yeah,
yeah, it had nothing to do with me. But the real point of it was that there's sometimes that you can't. There's things that are out of your control. But if you're the best person on your job, if you work the hardest, everybody knows it. I used to talk about this all the time, like back in the days when I would go to the we would go to breakfast with the phone company, and it would be like 30 of us would go to, and there was this waitress who literally wrote nothing down, and she could remember everybody's order, like recite it, right? And and like 30 of us, right? Not only that, but if we came a week later, she would remember what you ordered. She would remember whether you want whipped cream on your hot cocoa, whether you like the cheddar cheese. Like, she was amazing. And what you would find is, even early in the morning when the place just opened up, people would be waiting to sit in her section because she had literally made it a way that it was literally people, like everybody else's section would be empty. 7 o'clock when IHOP would open, everybody would be like, I want to sit in this section, you know?
Now let me ask you something, Dante.
Yeah.
Did she have a fat ass?
Let's put it like this. She really wasn't. It really wasn't because she was she was a giant. She was a giant lady, like giant. She was. I mean, she could have. She could have worked WWE, but here's the crazy thing about it. It wasn't even a sexual thing. It was just, she was just such an amazing waitress that people wait online. And I know that her tips, I mean, we tipped her like crazy because we were just fascinated by, and so you had people who were working shifts, right? Who the only time they got work was when she had an overflow, literally her section would be full and everybody else's section would be empty. And they would be tipping her and this and that, and you know what I'm saying? But I mean, she literally, and I mean, she had to be making thousands of dollars in tips because, because so it's an interesting thing when you really, you give a damn about the quality that you put out. It not only affects you, but it affects the people around you. My dad used to say this all the time. If you want to know what a dirty glass looks like, you don't have to say it's dirty. You just put a clean one next to it, you know?
Exactly.
And so what you find is, even in relationships and in work and business with family, if you operate with a level of righteousness, a lot of times you don't even have to say anything. It openly, people can see the difference and they can see that you're dedicated and you operate on a different level. But Zabe, I appreciate you calling, dog, man. It's always a pleasure, man. Keep listening, please. Spread the word, man. And
will do.
Anything I can help you with, I'm gonna be really consistent this year with going live as much as I can, unless I'm on the road or something like that. But we're gonna do Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays consistently. Cool. So y'all can check in, please. Work, spread the word, man. I know you will, man. But thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you. All right.
Likewise. Bye.
All right. Phone lines open, 929-269-4922. What I was talking about earlier is that the I get so often I get guys that want to push back and want to do a version or a freestyle version of what I'm telling them to do, and then when it doesn't work, they're disappointed because they're not getting the response that they want out of it. They want to here we go. The chat is going on. Chat is going. Let's talk about prepping for the summer from Test PM. Doug, here's the thing. When people go, "Oh, what's your New Year's resolution?" and "What are you prepping for the summer?" I don't believe in prepping for the summer. I think that every day that you get is an opportunity for you to be better. For you to decide, to decide that your life can be better, whatever that is. And so whatever you could be doing that you might be preparing for your derailing or you're coming out in the summer, you should be doing that winter, spring, summer, and fall. Understand something. Time is the commodity. Time is the thing that it's constantly, it never stops ticking off. And every 24 hours that you spend, every 24 hours you spend, you transfer that, which brings you closer to death, right? And when we think about it like that, I think we start to realize that, we don't have time to waste. We have time to waste to kind of prep for the summer or prep for the winter, or what's my New Year's resolution, or January 1st, I'm gonna really come out of the gate, really doing. You gotta, man, just do it today. Don't wait. Let's see what we got on the comments. The phone lines are open, 929-269-492. Open calls. You can ask me anything. I often, one of the things that I was thinking about is I find that the attractiveness of a woman, what I wanted to talk about in terms of a lot of times, the more attractive the woman is, the more that we're willing to sacrifice our dignity and our overall just respect for ourselves. And what you have to understand is that the level of the level in which we give credence to somebody because of their attractiveness. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't understand that some people, we have different types and different ways in which we find women attractive, and certain things that we find attractive. But what you have to understand is you got to protect your value, and your value is your commodity, is your integrity, your credibility, your truth, your empathy, the fact that you are observed, people observe you as somebody who is meaningful and intentful about their actions. People are more respectful to that than you could possibly believe. And what it also does is it creates opportunities for you, because nobody has a business or a job that they don't want trustworthy people at. And so when you practice this kind of honesty and this kind of credibility, that people always have a place for you. It literally changed my life. I mean, we got people in the chat who practice this stuff all the time. And because they practice it all the time, their life is in the process of changing as we speak. If it hasn't already changed, it's changing in the process. And the other part of it is, if they're not doing the work, they're not whining and bitching because their life has not changed. People do what they want to do. Ultimately, people do what they want to do. And if you're dating somebody, male, female, or otherwise, you're dating somebody whose intention is not to make you happy, you need to get out. And I don't care how big the booty is or how big the titties are, how cute she is. If her intention is not about you, dog, you got to get out. Let me look at the comments. James says, that the earth is flat, clown. I don't know. I don't know if that's for me, but it's just also, there's an absurdness to that. I mean, anybody that's been following the Lord Jamar thing or whatever was going, it's just ridiculous. But I have an explanation for that. Why people fall into these conspiracy theories. It's because with the internet, right? First of all, and I talked to Professor Dave about this. I talked to Professor Dave. What's interesting is, you know what? I'm not even gonna get into this. Because we got real questions. Tess PM says, is it hypocritical to date single mothers if you're, no, he's saying, let's get this up. Tess PM says, is it hypocritical not to date single mothers if you're a single father? Now, so let me be clear. We can, as individuals, we can decide to, we all get a chance to, we all get a chance to decide what our preference is. Women can want guys who are taller. Women can want guys with more money. Women can, whatever the case is. But you get to, as a man, you get to have your preference too, right? Now, the problem is that when we are not working to be let me see. When we make these decisions about what our preferences are, we have to believe that we are worthy of what we're asking for. And if we're not getting the opportunities that we want to get those opportunities from, there's a good chance that we haven't done the work that shows the value that we can get the opportunities that we can get that we can have. So I don't care what you are, and I've talked about this. This was maybe, I want to say maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I had a guy who was 32 years old, and said to me that if he was 20, he was 29 when I first came in, and he said to me, if I don't yeah, Demetrius, yes, that is confirmed. The guy was like, I'm 29 years old. If I'm a virgin, I'm 29 years old, I'm a virgin. If I don't get laid, he told me he was going to kill himself, right? And I know that I don't know if I talk about this. I don't talk about this too often because it's a bit, it was a rough situation for me because I didn't want anything to happen to this dude. But I absolutely thought I could help him, right? Now, here's the thing. I met the guy. I met the guy came to New York and I met with him. And let me say this. He was not what I would consider a classically attractive guy, okay? I mean, there's a pot for every cover, but let's just say that this pot was a little rough around the edges, okay? The guy was only 4'11", right? Not really the most handsome dude in the world. And to the point where when I met him, I was like, woof, I was like, yo, I got my work cut out for me, right? And it made me nervous that I wouldn't be able to help this guy. And I don't do phone consultations in person. No, I don't do them. I do them over the phone. I mean, I can do them FaceTime if you want to do them FaceTime. I usually just over the phone because it's just really, I'm trying to help you. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. But I actually got this guy laid. Not only I got this guy laid, he had a little harem going on for a little while. And but he was motivated. I mean, the dude had what you call I don't know, like you ever see when people are like little people and they have the distended chest, his chest was distended where they have like these long limbs, but the chest sticks out like this. And it was not the most handsome dude, but I'm happy to say I was able to help this dude out and change his life. It was real crazy. I mean, it took a little time and it took a little bit of consistency, but you got to understand that the way that we as men, like looks are the most important thing to us because men tend to be visual. Whereas with women, they'll take a swaggy little weird motherfucker in a minute. I always say that women don't know what they want. Their vagina does. And what I mean by that is attraction for women is a visceral thing. The attraction happens as a feeling, and it's an emotion. It's a visceral kind of instinctual thing. And there's ways to get those feelings, to kind of advocate those feelings or get a woman to respond to you in that way. And you don't have to be classically attractive. And I want to point this out. You could also be a guy who's drop dead gorgeous model, yes, you will get situations where overall women will be attracted to you if you're tall, if you're handsome. But when you show yourself to be a sucker, they treat you like a sucker. In fact, if you're a good-looking guy and you really don't have no game and you don't really have no confidence, women will treat you worse because of the fact that you're good-looking. It's almost like an ego trip to treat you like trash. So if you're a guy, look at Drake. Drake's a handsome dude, good-looking dude, tall, rich, all of this, and he got his ass kicked in a freestyle battle, and now he's suing. So, think about the disrespect, that how people don't respect him because of the fact that he ended up being this kind of dude that, like, you about this life, you hip hop mogul, whatever, and then because you can't win, you resort to legal responses to that. It's just weird, and we all lose respect for him. So think about how much motherfuckers was hating on Drake because he just ended up being a guy who just really wasn't the guy who he said he was. When he could be a cornball and still be a good dude. So Demetrius Lee was asking about the consultations. Let me put that up real quick. The consultations, the one-on-one consultations, just go to DanteNero.com, click on consult. You can get me, book a time and work it out. We can start working together. Whatever you need, I can help you. We can even clean out that funky stuff that's underneath it that's causing you to have this low self-esteem. Even when it comes to the way that we've raised as children, these things affect us in a really funky way. So it's DanteNero.com, click on consult. Phone lines are up, 929-269-4922. Call in. That's what I'm talking about. All I gotta do is say the word.
Page.
Paige, what's up?
Hello, Hardy. Just a quick question.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm okay. I'm just a bit confused. Just quickly, the anxiety that you get from approaching and doing things. Does that ever go away, or is that like a necessary thing?
Say that again.
The anxiety that you have.
Yes.
I have, and I'm sure some others as well. When you do approaches,
right,
you do get that anxiety. Does that ever go away with practice, or is that like a necessary
absolutely.
thing?
Let me ask you something. Have you been laying the bricks for
I'm so far from it. I have been laying nothing, man.
Well, why? Why are you not?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, then I just think you should. The laying the 5 bricks is the foundation that the whole system works. Okay? You're not going to be your true self. Now, let's say, and I don't know you, so you sound like you called him before. No, have you called him before?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did, yeah. That's a while back.
Okay, so when you're starting out and you're laying the 5 bricks, there's a few things that laying the 5 bricks does. The one thing it does is it helps you to manage the anxiety, right? There's a few. I'm gonna go over the things that it does for you without you knowing that it's doing that. And one of the things is it starts to remove the fear, or at least it makes the fear manageable. That's the first thing. The second thing it does is because you're given a compliment that's honest, right? You have to observe and be present in order to give an honest compliment, right? Because if you're not paying attention and you're not present, you can't give a you can't give a compliment, right? Third of all, the compliment cannot be sexual, and you don't want it to be sexual. So you also have to be mindful about what you're saying, right? So it removes fear, right? It makes you present, right? It removes the anxiety, and it becomes practice where you start to you put yourself in a situation that you're usually not comfortable with, right? And because you're not comfortable with it, I always say never let fear have a seat at the table. If you watch MMA or boxing or anything, right? Especially boxing, one of the reasons why you spar in boxing is so that you can get punched in the face and still maintain composure, right? You do understand that, right?
Yeah, of course, I understand.
Okay, so here's my thing. Have you ever seen like amateur fighting or amateur brawling or something where you watch where people are not right? What happens the first time somebody gets punched in the face? They turn away from their opponent, right? The fight or flight comes into place. They turn away and they move and try, like it's like I just got punched in the face. Let me get the fuck out of here, right? The worst you can do in a fight, worst thing you can do in a fight is to turn your head away from your opponent and turn your back and run the other way, because you're not only are you subject to getting hit behind the head, on the neck or the ear, where you can actually be knocked out and disabled easier, you also can't see the punches coming. Do you understand? So when you box, you're literally you're learning how to fight, you're learning how to punch and how to be aggressive and all those things, but most of all you're learning to maintain composure so that when you get hit you don't panic, right? Laying the 5 bricks does the same thing. You're putting yourself in a situation, you're creating this repetitious kind of thing where you start to, with the repetition, it starts to alleviate the anxiety and the stress. And because the stress and the anxiety is alleviated, you get to be your true self. Now, I don't know if you're a charming dude, right? I don't know if you're funny or any of those things, but I do know that if you have high levels of anxiety, you're not going to be able to bring that out. So there are situations, maybe it's with your family, maybe you have a brother or you have a sister or you have a best friend or people that you hang out with. There is a time when you are most cordial and most charming. And when is that time exist? It exists most of all when you are most comfortable. Right? So if you have 2 friends or people that maybe you went to college with or you grew up with or people or you're tight with your brother or something, that is when you are the best version of yourself, right? So laying the 5 bricks allows you to get to the place where you can be the best version of yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, that may not be enough, right, to make you a ladies' man. But at the very least, you're not going to be able to access your charisma, your sense of humor, your intellect, things that you do know, things that you are comfortable with if you have this anxiety. And so laying the 5 bricks removes the anxiety so that you can operate at the optimum level that you are. Now, once we get to that, where we get a true, so I've said this 100 times. When you buy it, when you order an Uber, there's 2 things you need to know. One is your current location. The other thing is the destination and where you're trying to go. Now, if we understand that, okay, you do have some level of charisma, so you are funny, or you are interesting, or you are creative, and all of those things only come out when you remove the fear, right? And if you're not, then we know what we have to work on in order to get you to the point where the product that you're selling, which is you, is a viable product. And what you will find most of the time is guys will try to overcompensate with money and cars and jewelry and let me show you what I could do for you. And what we don't understand is it doesn't translate It doesn't translate into real attraction. All a woman does is go, okay, this guy's rich. He's buying me stuff. I'll take him for the shit that I want. That still doesn't make him attractive to me. That still doesn't make him sexy to me. That still doesn't make him be a viable entity where I want to spend time with him. Do you understand?
So what do you say that the editing is basically just fear?
Say that again. Ask that again. So
when let's say we talk to a woman or we're in a social situation, we sometimes tend to edit, because of etiquette or whatever. Would you say that that's basically mostly fear?
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be fear. It could be ego. It could be anxiety. I mean, it could be any. What I've actually, as I look at this prospectively more open, it's any emotion. You need to operate on a logical perspective. I mean, isn't that like if look, what do you do for a living?
I paint.
You what?
Paint like wall. Paint like walls.
Oh, you paint, right? Okay, so like indoor, outdoor, or both?
Like in a manufacturing factory.
Okay, like we mean when you say manufacturing, what do you mean? Like what? Give me an example.
I basically like paint, spray, like components.
Oh, like components and stuff. Okay. So do you understand how can you imagine the first time that you started doing it, the anxiety that you had about doing it properly, about not putting too much paint on the item or whatever? No, just, I mean, if I'm correct, I mean, I'm doing this from common sense, but I'm saying even your stroke where you move back and forth, where you paint different products, right? Where you don't have, I mean, I've watched guys, I'm a little more equipped about like indoor painting. If you watch a guy spackle a wall, right? There are guys who are artistic in the way that they put spackle on a wall. You know what I mean? And guys who paint, guys who do if they do brush, they do the corners or the edges, and they don't think. But the only way that you get comfortable doing that, right, is by practice. And when you practice enough, you know what's even interesting? You ever seen somebody pinstripe a car by hand?
Yeah, on YouTube, yeah.
And they just kind of use their finger as a guide, and they just right across the paint they do. But I mean, you got to understand that person there's no anxiety when he's doing that. He has to understand, he has to have the confidence and the respect for his craft to do it without having the anxiety, no matter how expensive the car is, no matter what it is. And the only way, how do they get comfortable like that? It's just practice, right? And so that's what laying the 5 bricks does. It gets you to that place where you can access your skill set. The minute you add emotion or anxiety or fear into the mix, you're going to reduce your proficiency at any task by 1/3. So just take 2/3 of your proficiency and throw it away. You understand?
I do. Are there any positives to fear or anxiety?
I don't think so. I don't think so anymore. I mean, fear is what
you need to work on, but that's about it.
Now I'll tell you why. Because I think fear is a primitive. It's a primitive emotion. It was an emotion that kind of kept us safe when we were in the jungles and stuff, and when we were moving in these predatory situations. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's some hoods that you could go in that you need to be aware of that are predatory situations. But I think that I was just in Baltimore. If you're in Baltimore at 2:00 in the morning in some neighborhood that you shouldn't be in, you know that you shouldn't be in that neighborhood. You know what I mean? You know that you need to watch out. So fear is that reaction that makes you go, hey, I need to be careful. But I think that if you become an intentful person, a person who uses his brain in every situation, nobody has to tell you that you're not in a rough neighborhood. And nobody has to tell you that if you're in a rough neighborhood that you need to be careful and you need to keep your eyes and your ears open. So fear, although it's that that thing that protects us on an instinctual level, I think that we have gotten to the place where we don't really need that. That it just becomes something that complicates our ability. Also, I think it makes us be we tend to be more hasty about the things that the decisions that we make, because we're making them out of fear instead of making them out of a logic and just basic smarts. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you gotta make a consultation, because I think that if you can make a consultation and we'll get you started and see, I don't know what your money is like or whatever. Anybody who's done the consultations with me, everybody knows that I look out and we get it done. But you got to start to kind of deal with this anxiety. And there's reasons why you have the anxiety that are even deeper than just the woman's situation. I mean, there's, and you need to dig that kind of poison and that infection out, what I call this kind of social infections that we get from our parents and the way that we're raised, that we don't, the insecurities and so on and so forth. And I'm telling you, when I talk about that story about the guy who told me that he would kill himself if I didn't get him laid, and he gave me 2 years, I was able to get it done in a year. I'm telling you that this dude was not handsome at all. Like, I mean, he was 4'11" and he was not handsome. And surprisingly, because of the fact that he was so desperate and he was so open-minded in terms of learning the techniques that I was giving him, he did really great. He was really good at it. It doesn't mean that, I don't care who you are. Everybody's not gonna like you. I don't care how you look. I've had women say, I don't like a guy that's too handsome, because I don't want some guy who's primming and propping and combing his hair more than I comb my hair and whatever, and he wears bronzer and stuff like that. But yeah, I've had women say, oh, this guy is too muscular. You know what I mean? Like, people have different. I'm not gonna say everybody has a lid, but I mean, listen, you can find a lid to fit. You know what I mean? And if you have this anxiety and you're worried about this anxiety, that's the first thing that we need to deal with. We need to figure out where that anxiety comes from, where the fear comes from, and then put you in a situation where you can learn that it's just not as bad as you think it is. Okay?
Hey, that's perfect. Thank you very much, Dante.
I appreciate you. I'm gonna put up the one-on-one consultation. Book a session at
But would you say 15 minutes is enough for a first stop?
I mean, we listen. It's not, but it's usually the 15 minutes is for something quick. Somebody that's been working with me. But look, I'll fit in as much as I can fit in for 15 minutes. I mean, I don't know how your money is, but the more we talk, the better off you're gonna be. The better I can fix this. But wherever you got to start, we can start where you start, and then we'll work on it from there. I mean, you'll know. I guarantee you. One of the things I do is I guarantee that it will change your life. And anybody, I'd like this. If anybody's in the chat, anybody's listening who's done consultations with me, call up. Please call up. All right, brothers. So, I mean, but if you can start with the 15 and you start with we'll start wherever it is. And because I can't really know how far we need to go until I make an assessment. And any way you put it, you got to lay the 5 bricks anyway. Okay?
Hey, awesome. Thank you very much, Dante.
All right, brother. I appreciate you. Later.
Thank you.
Yeah, if anybody's, let me put the numbers up again. The numbers up, 929 269-4922. Anybody that's in the chat right now that's done a consultation with me, call in, please. Call in. Number's 929-269-4922. Because I don't mind blowing my own horn, but I mean, anybody to tell you, anybody I've dealt with, anybody who's listening and who's dealt with me, one thing about me is I'm not afraid of the criticism. Let's see who this is. Who am I speaking with? Where you calling from?
What up, Dante? Is Danny from Utah.
What's up, Danny? What's going on, Danny? How you doing? Have we done a consultation before? No.
Yeah, we did one. I think it was like 2 months ago.
Okay.
A quick 15-minute consultation.
Okay, so you started with the 15. Was that the first and the only one you did with me, or did we do other ones?
So far, it's only been the only one.
Okay, so what was your impression of the consultation?
So you definitely fed me a lot. You kind of emphasized on the 5 bricks and really kind of tried to get it in my head and lay those bricks down. But and I learned a lot. You know, I learned a little bit here and there.
Right.
Approaching a woman here and there, but I'm struggling. I really am struggling with the 5 bricks because a lot of the times I struggled finding honest comments. And you called it. You said I was gonna fuck it up, and I did. A lot of the times I wasn't being honest because
right.
I was trying to reach the 5. Sometimes it was sexual, where I tried to get their number, or I said something that wasn't truth.
Yeah.
So lately, I've been like trying to like be genuine, and it's hard to find 5 women a day. Like when I first was laying the 5 bricks, I was pretty dedicated. After work, I would go to fucking Walmart without even having to buy anything.
Right, just to walk through it. Yeah, I get you.
Just to walk through and try to get the 5, but a lot of times I couldn't get the 5 because I started being honest and I couldn't find something that was truthful. A good example, like when I first started, I saw an old lady with the red jacket, and I liked the jacket, so I said, "Hey, I really love your jacket. You have a good night, though." But in reality, I didn't love the jacket. I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to.
Yeah, but did you? You know? I mean, you said I really like your jacket. Isn't that truthful?
Well, I fucked up because I said I loved your jacket. I love your jacket. It looks good on you, and it did look good on her.
Okay, so what was her response?
She's just like, "Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much."
Okay, and so let me ask you this. Here's my thing. I get that you may have exaggerated a little bit, but you understand that you're going to. This is like I said to you before. I go, listen, I want you to do the lab 5 bricks, but I said, what did I say to you? I said you're gonna fuck this up, right?
Yeah.
Now, when I said you're gonna fuck this up, what do you think I meant?
That I was either not going to reach the number 5, I wasn't going to do it at all, or I just wasn't going to follow your advice and do it my own way.
Okay, did all of those things happen?
They did.
Okay,
did, yeah.
So now here's the reason why I know that this is the case. But you got to understand that this is a process, man. You got to get back on the horse. And if you get back on the horse, I don't care. Listen, doing the 5 a day, the reason why it's difficult is not because put it like this. What I'm asking you to do, it's easy, but it's also difficult, right?
Right.
On the face value of what I'm asking you to do is something very simple, right? But it's difficult because of all the emotional things that you have attached to interactions and fear and all of these things. And all of these things happen. Why? Because of anxiety and things that you've gone through as a child, and rejection, and people telling you that you're not worthy, and parents telling you that you're not good looking enough, or you haven't gotten the right attention, and all of these things are acting on you. And we're literally, how old are you?
23. I'll be 24 pretty soon.
Okay, so 23 years of going through this, right? Going through this, not feeling sure of yourself. Let's say if you did everything that I told you to do, right? If you did everything exactly the way, it would still take you a year of working with me in order to get comfortable, where you would start to feel confidence. You understand? I'm not saying that you initially you're absolutely going to get some progress, right? But to get to the progress where you actually start to feel confident about what you're doing, it's going to take time. It took you 23 years to get where you are now, where you're insecure and afraid and have this anxiety, and this is all difficult, and you're so in your head. Give me a little more time. I'm not saying I need a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm not saying that if you work with me, you're gonna be 46 by the time you have your shit together. I'm just saying, but give me a percentage, a 3% or 1%. Like give me a little time to fix all these things that are broken, and I promise you, we can do that.
Yeah, and it's not so much like I feel like I'm a pretty confident guy. I'm not too ugly. Like I'm pretty handsome, but yeah.
Let me say this: when somebody says I'm not too ugly, you have no idea how telltale making that statement in itself says about your own personal insecurity.
Well, you know why? Because lately,
wait a minute. I absolutely don't know why. But what I'm just pointing out, the fact that you even describe yourself in that way says so much about what you've gone through in your life. That makes you go, am I I'm not that unattractive, or I'm not,
Yeah, I just didn't want to come off like too cocky.
But why? If you're a handsome guy, I mean, what's the A in ace?
Authenticity.
Right, and so if you're a handsome guy, right, and you think you're a handsome guy, why wouldn't you say you're a handsome guy?
Insecurities, I guess. Yeah.
Right. So, but you understand what I'm saying? I don't even care about what your insecurities are. On a base level, ace is telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
So if you understand that if you actually think you're a handsome guy and you don't say it, then you're lying.
Yeah.
So you gotta be the first step is to understand what the principles are, right? And those were the principles. Let's do that. You gotta be honest first. That means honest all the time. That means honest with yourself as well as with other people.
Yeah.
Even if you said, I realize I'm a handsome guy, and a girl goes, wow, that's real cocky, I would ask, oh, do you not think that I'm handsome? And then she'll go, well, you all right. Okay, so then you think I'm ugly. No, you're not ugly. I go, well, I'm asking you, do you think I'm I'm saying, if you had this conversation and you're confronting somebody in a real way, right? They're gonna they're absolutely gonna, I get how women will be like, oh, he's too cocky or this, that, but I'm a handsome person. Yeah. But I mean, why would you not tell the truth? Part of so on the ace is authenticity. C is credibility. Yeah. E is empathy, right?
Yeah.
If you practice those principles, you will find it. I don't care what it is. If you practice those principles, everything goes back to the same principles all over again. And when you deny yourself those things, and when you don't practice in the realm of that, you are already losing.
Mm-hmm.
You're worried about you. So you told this woman that you loved her jacket, but you didn't love it. You just liked it. Right? So
yeah, I guess my point was just not being 100% authentic, but I did like the jacket. I mean, I liked it enough to go tell her.
Okay.
And at the end of the day,
here's the other thing. I never said to you, well, you have a nice day. All you got to do is you just pay, and she says, thank you. You go, you're welcome, and you keep moving.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to be smooth. I'm not asking you to be Casanova. I'm not asking you to create a situation where you have all the answers. I'm asking you. Go ahead.
With that, I mean, it was an older lady. Like, it was just
doesn't really matter. What did I say about this? About it doesn't matter if it's an older woman. In fact, laying the 5 bricks have nothing to do with whether or not you feel that this woman is somebody you want to have sex with. Right? That's what I said.
So with that situation, all I said was, hey, I love your jacket, but you have a good night. That's how I walked away because I didn't want to make it awkward. Just like
but you don't have to. If you say, I love your jacket, and she says, thank you, you go, you're welcome. When the reason why are you saying, I hope you have a good night? Why do you say that?
Oh, well, she just said, like, thank you so much. And I just said, oh, you're welcome. Have a good night. And I
Okay.
walked
All
away.
right. But she said thank you and you said you're welcome. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that's
said, you're
fine.
welcome. You
That's
have a good
fine.
night.
That's fine.
Yeah, and then I walked away.
That's fine. But what if you go, oh, I love your jacket, have a good night. What you're doing is, there's a reason why you do that. It's because you're cutting off the conversation before the conversation is ended.
Okay.
Do you understand it? So what I'm saying is, when you give an honest compliment, initially, all I'm asking you, the first phase is just give the compliment and keep it moving, right? If somebody says thank you, you say you're welcome, and then you keep it moving. That is the first couple of weeks, just the first week to first week and a half. I'm not asking you to respond. I'm not asking you to get into a conversation. I'm forbidding you to get the number, because I think you need to get to the point where you can lay the 5 bricks with the ease of going out. It shouldn't take you more than 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But if you're not doing this, and you're especially not doing it the way that I want you to do it, or the way I'm telling you to do it, you're ultimately cutting your own throat, and you're blocking your blessings, because you're already in a situation where you're not doing what I'm telling you to do right.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing. I love your coat. Thank you. Welcome. Hey, I love your hair. Thank you. I love your nails. Wow, those sneakers are hot. That t-shirt is great. That's all. It's 5.
Yeah.
You're making this big thing about it because of the anxiety and the fear, and you're afraid that you're going to get rejected. Now, how many times have you laid the 5 bricks? I mean, if we spoke, 2 months ago?
Yeah, about 2 months ago, I'd say.
Okay, how many bricks did you lay in 2 months?
So I did it for, I believe, 3.5 weeks.
Every day?
Every day.
5 a day?
Every other day. Yeah, the days where I couldn't get the 5, I didn't reach the full 5, but I got like 1 or 2.
Okay, what did I say? Get the 5, right?
Yeah, I get the 5.
And I told you to promise me that you would get the 5, right?
Yeah.
So when you didn't get the 5, did you at least try to make up the 5 the next day? No, right?
Yeah.
And why didn't you do that? Because ultimately you're afraid. So
a lot of times I just found myself like not liking anything about the individual.
This bullshit. It's bullshit. You're lying. You're lying. You didn't do it because you first of all, you didn't commit to it, and second of all, because you were afraid that something would go bad. Is that not true? Or I'm making this up?
Yeah, I mean, you're true, yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that I need you to do, and this is with anybody in the chat, anybody that I do consult, I need you to be honest. What is the first part of, what's the A in ACE?
Authentic,
Okay, so if you're lying to me, you already got me fucked up.
Yeah.
So when you're giving me excuses about why you didn't do the laying the 5 bricks, you're lying. Right?
Yeah. So what's because I can't keep going to the same Walmart every day.
You can listen, if you were gonna go, if let's say you wanted to bodybuild, right? You got to go to the gym. So I don't care where you got to go to work out. I just care that you work out. I don't live in your town. I'm quite sure there's a mall. There's some place where you could go. But I'm telling you here, understand this. If you don't commit to this, things will not change. Okay?
All right. Yeah, I get it.
And if you do commit to this, I promise you, I guarantee your life will change. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right, brother. I appreciate you.
Cool. Thanks, man.
I want y'all to understand this. I'm not being harsh with him. I see a couple of people, and he's a baby. His kid's only 23 years old. I get it. The point is, once you get past this, your life changes. You got to do what you're asked to do. It's not a lot. It's not hard. It's easy. It's easy, but it's difficult. It seems more difficult because the fear and the anxiety is what makes it difficult. But the bottom line is, it's not really. What am I asking you to do? What, honestly, when I had somebody come on the live one time and said to me, "This is the hardest thing I ever did." I go, "Really?" And the guy that I was talking to had lost his mother to cancer. I said, so you laying 5 bricks is harder than you having to lose your mother to cancer. I mean, you can't lie to me, because everything that I teach, everything that I talk about, every time I talk to you, I practice ACE just like you do. I am as sincere with you as I would be, because for me not to be sincere with my fans and the people that listen to me, it is disrespectful. It is disrespectful to you. It's disrespectful to me and the man that I say that I am. And I won't do it. I'm going to tell you honest. I love all of y'all, but man, you're not more important than my own personal integrity. And I will not allow any of you to circumvent my own personal integrity. None of y'all are that important. Because what gives me happiness and confidence is exactly the principles that I'm teaching you. And I got to live it. I have to live it, because if I don't live it, then I'm just a liar like y'all are. I'm just making it up. You know? You gotta just do it. You just gotta do it. There's no shortcut. There's no and if I had to say, it is a magic bullet. Laying the 5 bricks is absolutely the magic bullet. But if you think that your life is gonna change, your options are gonna change, you're gonna change. I mean, you guys, one thing about you guys, I love the fact that y'all are always listening in, but you've all heard the testimonies. You've all called in and heard somebody say, "I did consultation and this, you helped me at this situation. I was going through divorce and this thing happened. My girl cheated on me and I couldn't get laid and now I can." This is every single time that we do a live, somebody comes in and talks. And even when we talk about young boy that just called in, still has progress. He still has progress that he didn't have before. I'm gonna take one more call and then I'm gonna shut this down, man. We've been on for like an hour. Let me put the numbers up: 929-269-4922, 929-269-4922. Let me put the banners up. Don't forget, please. Y'all know the Cash App, and send me some money. There it is. I finally got my cash register. Cash App's up, PayPal's up. Let me see. Last call of the night.
From
Christian, what's going on? Where you calling from, family?
Calling from Los Angeles, California.
What's going on? How can I help you, brother?
First of all, I want to say first time caller. I've actually followed you since you were with Patrice on I would say the show when it was on XM.
Yeah.
My situation is I've been dating this girl for almost, I want to say 8 months.
Yeah.
And I found out that she has these dating apps on her phone, like Tinder or Meet Me, Badoo, even 3F. And when I kind of asked about them, she is like, "Oh, I'm just trying to just be friends because I don't have much of a social circle."
Okay, and this is a girl that you've decided to be exclusive with.
Correct.
Okay, and what did you say to that?
I kind of just held my tongue about it, and just said okay, and allowed her to just keep doing this. But I have seen, or because I know her password and I'm able to access her phone and see some of the messages that she has been sending back and forth. Some of them sound like she wants to like hang out to just get something at Starbucks and just talk.
Okay, let me ask you this. Stop. How do you feel about this? What is your feeling about this?
For me, because I'm just more old school, I'm not really comfortable with the idea.
Let me ask you this. What if you were on dating apps and you told her, well, I'm just on the apps for companionship because you don't have a lot of friends? What would she say to that?
I would imagine she would either be a little skeptical on it or possibly okay with it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Let me tell you something. You're not in a relationship, dude. You are in a relationship until she finds something to upgrade. And how did you find out that she has these apps on her phone?
Just because I know her. I guessed her password on her phone.
Okay. First, there's a few things here. You need to make a consultation with me immediately. First of all, there's no reason for you to guess her password on her phone, right? Did she ask you to be in a relationship, or did you ask her?
I asked her.
Okay. Do you listen to my content?
Not as much as I should.
Okay. So what do you know what I say about asking a girl to be your girlfriend?
No.
Okay, I tell you never to ask it. Do you ever know a woman to want something or want you to do something where she doesn't ask?
No.
Okay, so if she didn't ask, right? What can we assume about why you have a girlfriend right now? It's because you pressured her into it. Right?
I want to say maybe, but I mean, I've let her know that like if she didn't want to.
Yeah, but so in essence, what she says, I'll give this a shot, and I'll stay on these apps, and I'll see if I can find something better, and if I find something better, I'll dump him and move on. Are you okay with
anxieties about it?
Huh?
My anxieties about it. That's one of my anxieties about it.
Right, but then why are you asking for something from somebody who doesn't want to be with you that way? And if she don't like you that way, where is your empathy to the fact that you're forcing yourself on somebody who doesn't want you, doesn't like you that way? Do you care whether or not she wants you or not? Or you just care that you want her?
No, I want her to care about me. And I believe to some level she does.
Okay, but not level enough to ask you to be her boyfriend, or she didn't go, where are we going? What are we doing? How, what am I? What do you call? She didn't say that to you, right?
No, yeah, correct.
She was cool with hanging out with you. And so you put her in a position where maybe she didn't want to hurt your feelings, or maybe she, she figured out whatever, I'll give it a shot. But you got to understand, and I got to be honest with you because of the fact that what the A in ACE is authenticity. She don't like you like that. So you have forced her in a relationship, and now you're forced to compromise the things that you're not even comfortable with.
Right.
So if she don't like you like that, you can't make her like you that way. Attraction is a visceral response to two people coming together. And if she don't like you that way, she just don't like you that way. There's nothing you can do about that. Sometimes.
What if I added the context of she's allowed me to stay over at her place multiple nights?
I don't care. First, the fact that you said she allows me to stay over at her. The fact nobody allows me to stay at their house. Women that I'm dealing with beg me to stay at their house.
So to a level I'm being kind of used at this point.
I mean, if it's mutual, I mean, if you get out of it what you want, I'm assuming y'all are having sex. How's the sex? Yeah, forget it. You don't even have to answer. That noise was enough. So the sex is shitty. She don't really like you. She don't really. She's hollering at other motherfuckers using dating apps. Get out of the relationship. If you want to hang out with her, and still spend time with her, but you need to be looking for somebody who's interested in making you happy. Not somebody who's comfortable having you around until she finds something better. You understand?
Okay. Yes, sir. The
conversation you need to have with her is, look, I don't really feel like you're into this relationship. Clearly that you're on these dating apps, so you clearly I'm not the one that I'm clearly not the one that you want. So if you want to be friends, we can be friends and hang out and fuck and do whatever, but I'm going to start dating other people.
How would you recommend initiating that conversation?
Immediately, when you get off the phone.
Okay.
When you get off the phone.
Because I think she doesn't know that I can access her phone like this. She doesn't know that I don't do all this.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. It is what it is. So you had a conversation with her about her apps or no?
Just one particular, like she'll like that she'll use, and even some point she'll even send me like some of these conversations where these guys that try to hit on her.
Why are you you're not in a relationship, though? If she's sending you conversations about guys hitting on her, you don't have a girlfriend. You have somebody that's biding her time until she finds somebody else. And I want you to understand. I understand that this is harsh to hear. This is difficult to hear. But you need to hear this now. Right? So that you don't waste time because all she's going to do is keep looking until she finds somebody better, and then she's going to dump you for somebody better. Your self-esteem is so low that you're willing to put up with the facade of the fact that you might have a girlfriend instead of dealing with the things that you need to do to make yourself a viable, important entity in somebody else's life.
Okay.
Book a consult, though, immediately.
All right. I'll check out the website.
Okay, I'll put it up real quick so you can see it. It's DanteNero.com. Click on consult. You need a consultation immediately. Like, first of all, I'm going to tell you the process. Is that we have to figure out where this insecurity is coming from. Secondly, we have to deal with the fact of why you think that her spare time is worth your fidelity, right? And your dedication when she's not even giving you that. The fact that you are going through her phone, right, says that you're insecure about what's going on. So you already know that something is going on, or you suspect that something's going on behind your back. But what I'm saying is, if she wants to rock out and go suck somebody else's dick, you're not going to stop her. Not even if you go through her phone, you're not going to stop her. Nothing you're going to do is stop her. A woman has to want to be with you. She has to want to believe that you are important enough that she needs to do the right thing by you, and that goes for man, women, or otherwise. If you're with them and you don't even enjoy the sex, but you're sticking with it because you don't have any options.
Huh? It's just the fact that she has the apps on her phone, it will mess with me sometimes.
What happened?
The fact that she has these apps and everything on there, and I know that she has them on there, will affect me in terms of like sometimes trouble sleeping or even trying to get it up to stay with her.
Why are you doing this? You're not even enjoying her company.
Because I don't have anything else.
Yeah, make a consultation we'll make a consultation. We'll fix it and we'll get you all the options that you want.
Okay.
I mean, but you gotta book a consultation and you gotta be willing to dedicate yourself to it for sure. I mean, I guarantee you're faking so much in this relationship that the energy that you're putting on faking this relationship and trying to make something work that you're not even enjoying could create options for you, untold options that you never could believe. Okay? This is, understand something, this is fixable. It's not difficult and it's not fixable. You just gotta, the same energy that you're putting on to put on this facade about something that is not really happening. You can put this time and energy on real personal growth. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. I'll hear from you soon. I'll be looking for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Yeah, we're gonna shut this down. Thank you so much for everybody for listening. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Xavier and Rico and Robert and Lethal Flatfist and Demetrius Lee and JR and who else? Let's see. Everybody's in the chat talking shit. I appreciate you. We'll be live on Sunday. Let's go. Look for me. And then again on Tuesday. We're going to be really consistent. Sterling, shout out to Sterling. I appreciate y'all. Man, I hope I can help that guy. I hope that guy calls me because I feel sorry for him. GYBB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolutions being podcasted. I love y'all. Don't forget to like, share, comment, send this to somebody. I know somebody you all know somebody who's going through what that dude is going through right now. Send it to them. Send it to them and tell them to listen. We can help them, Also, don't forget, if y'all want bonus content, what I'm doing, any of the Patreon members, I want y'all to send me a message through the Patreon. Let me know what you want the Patreon episode to be about. We're going to do that from now on. We're going to put it in a situation where you guys who are on the Patreon are going to decide what the content is about. Y'all are going to decide that. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. We out of here. See y'all Sunday.